it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for choosing to spend a little bit of your day with me. And as always, first of all, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to all my subscribers. Special thanks to my members. Now, tonight is Members Live. Let's chat in. I've got a very special surprise for my members tonight. Very special surprise. So, you know, if you're a member, let's chat or carry on chatting. Look out for tonight. There's something that I think you'll enjoy. I hope you'll enjoy anyway. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today, unfortunately. Oh, sorry, I just also want to say thank you to anyone who's sent me a super sticker, bought me a Ko-fi, you know, sent me an email, sent me a nice message. Any of you supported my channel in any way, thank you so much. But special thank you always to my members. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today, well, it's this sort of, oh my God, now I don't know if it's just because I'm noticing things more, but there's just, it's stabbings everywhere. All that, what's going to be done about this? Is it true, do you think, that if people really want to kill someone or hurt someone, they'll do it, whether they've got, it could be with a gun, it could be with a knife, or will they get a hammer, will they get, you know, is there anything that can be done about this sort of epidemic, it seems, of knife crime, not only in the UK, but all over? But of course, we're going to talk about the poor girl who was on holiday from Australia in the UK and became a victim to this Romanian guy who'd been living in the UK for quite a long time. We're going to have a look at that. We're going to have a look at a bit more about him, a bit more about that situation. But also, I want to first start off just looking at a stabbing that's happened in Spain. Now, for any of you who like football, well, you know, if you're an England fan, you won't be very happy after the result of the Euros, which of course Spain won. And one of the stars of the Spanish team, of course, was the young lad Lamine Yamal. He scored that fantastic goal. He's a very young lad, isn't he? Only 16. And his father, who lives in Spain, he's been stabbed. You know, it's like an epidemic, isn't it? For God's sake. And his dad lives in Spain. Let's have a look at the video. So, father of Spain teenage star Lamine Yamal rushed to hospital after being stabbed as 3 men arrested. Now, for those of you who don't know about football, Spain won the Euros, beat England in the final. I still haven't quite recovered from it. I can hardly talk about it. And this young lad, 16-year-old lad, I think he plays for Real Madrid. He was like one of the sensations of the tournament. Really, he scored one good goal. That's basically where it came down to. But anyway, it was a brilliant goal. And this is his father. Now you can see he's not very seriously injured because he's standing, but he has been stabbed after an altercation while he was out walking his dog, I think. So Lamine Yamal's father has been rushed to hospital after being stabbed. Munir Nasraoui, whose teenage son starred for Spain in Euros 24, was attacked in the Spanish town of Mataro. And matar is the Spanish word to kill, funnily enough, according to local media. And locals claim that Mr. Nasrau, I won't be pronouncing that right, of course, they're not Spanish. I'm trying to think where they come from. Let's have a look. I might have to look that up because I can't remember what area he actually comes from. I mean, he's Spanish nationality. Oh, he plays. God, I said he played. I thought he played for Real Madrid. I'd get into trouble because he actually plays for Barcelona, and of course they're really big rivals. So I'm trying to think where is he from? Maybe maybe he was born in Spain. So he was born in he was born in Spain. In Esplugues de Llobregat. Now, the reason I'm having problems pronouncing that, even though it's in Spanish, is it's actually not in Spanish. It's Catalan. So he was born in Catalonia, and that's him. So going back to where we were. Hang on. Right. I've got all mixed up where I was now. So, yeah, this is the actual article from LBC News. So his dad this is his dad here. He's standing talking to the police. So he's obviously not seriously hurt. Well, it says he was taken to hospital in a serious condition, but his life is said not to be in danger. And a later unconfirmed report claimed that he had been discharged from hospital. And police have arrested 3 people on suspicion of attempted murder. So we don't know the full details yet of what happened, but this is the video. Let's just. These the men he was, how he's got into an argument somehow, or they've got into an argument with him. The police are taking him off, but he's been stabbed. You can see it, I think. Is that where he's been stabbed? There's a guy with his kid there walking past. So the thing is, if he's been stabbed there, oh no, it's all going on there. They're all talking about it. Well, I wouldn't say that's being rushed to hospital. Why is he even standing up if he's been stabbed? Anyway, that's something that happened. I think it was yesterday. Let's just check. So officers are continuing to question witnesses as the investigation progresses. A video supposedly from the scene yesterday, shared on social media, shows him arguing with several men on the street before being led away by 2 officers. And Yamal, 17, was one of the talking points of this summer's Euros, where he was a key part of the team that beat England in the final. He became the youngest goal scorer in the history of the Euros after notching a long-range strike against France in the semi-final. And he was named Young Player of the Tournament. He plays his club football for Barcelona, and he lived for a time growing up in Mataró, a port around 20 miles north of the city, which is where his father was stabbed. So this place, Mataró, let's just have a look where it is on the map. Looks like his father still lives there. Yeah. So where's Barcelona? There's the place right on the coast. And here's Barcelona. Yeah, so it's just along the coast from Barcelona. And that's where it happened. That's where he was brought up. So, God, it's just one after another, isn't it? And, anyway. So, he's okay. Apparently, he's been discharged from hospital. But at the end of the day, that's another blooming stabbing. Okay, let me put some windows down. Sorry. Just seem to have Don't know how I accumulate all these windows that I have put up, you know. It's just like we get rid of them because it's just confusing. It's just confusing. I don't know which one to go to. Too many. Too many. Okay, now I'm going to come back to the chat and say hello to everyone because I haven't said hello yet. So, hi Chumba, hi Katrine, hi BF, hi Kyle from Manchester, UK. Great place, Manchester. Hi David. Hi Heather. Hi Bertan. Hi Maria. This Yamal's dad, Bertan, has been stabbed. So yeah, he's a good talent. Hi Pauline. So yeah, not Yamal. He hasn't been stabbed. He won't live there anymore. He'll be in camp in Barcelona, won't he? Because he plays for Barcelona. But no, his dad apparently has been stabbed in the Pueblo. Anyway, so yeah, there's another one now. I want to before we start talking about the poor Australian girl. So it turns out that the girl that was stabbed in Leicester Square, just shopping. You know, and this guy went up to her, put her in a headlock and started stabbing her. She's an Australian tourist. So her and her mum, they were on holiday in London. For God's sake, you go to the other ends of the earth and then you get stabbed. I mean, come on. What's going on the streets, you know? I was watching a woman talking this morning whose son was stabbed. And she's now an activist, you know, how some people try and turn it into a positive thing. Now, she came, it was very interesting what she was saying. She was very, very passionate. And she gets involved in a lot of boxing clubs. Boxing is really good. I think almost boxing should be like a requirement for young people to do, because a lot of young people that, I mean, not that this person who has stabbed this Australian tourist is a young person. It's more a sort of a mental health issue. But, you know, if people can be taught from a young age how to, channel their aggression, how discipline, boxing, you know, I think it saved my son's life, to be honest. My son got involved in boxing when he was going through a really difficult time. I don't know what he would have done without boxing, you know, because the discipline that it teaches you, the aggression that it channels. I mean, young people, especially young men, they have got a lot of aggression. That's to do with puberty and all that. There's a lot of aggression. They don't know what to do with it, you know, a lot of the time. That's why people like Jay Slater, they get into trouble when they're young and that, because they sort of do silly things and they get involved in things they shouldn't get involved in. But imagine if they had to go boxing once a week. I know that's a bit, you know, maybe that's a bit too much, but you know, boxing is a really good. It doesn't have to be boxing; it could be any type of sport. But I just think there's something about boxing for young men that it gets this aggression out of them, while at the same time teaching them discipline. Because boxing it's all up here. You know, it's not just about blindly sort of whacking someone and that kind of thing. You've got to control. You know, it teaches you how to control this. And most of the aggression, I think, that's happening is mentally, is mental health. You know, a lot of it. So mentally, I think our children are not being, or our young people, they're not being looked after properly mentally. You know, and then as people get older and they have mental health issues, I think there's a definite sort of void in how they get treated. But anyway, you know, I don't know all the answers and I'm not saying that I do, but it was very interesting listening to this woman this morning talking about boxing clubs that she gets involved with. And she's always trying to raise money for new clubs because, you know, it seems like the more clubs you open, the more need there is for them. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be boxing. It's just I think about oh, that's good, Bertan. Yeah, my son's been going to boxing since he was 13. Thank God, because he went through a difficult time, and boxing, I honestly think it saved his life. It saved him mentally, because he was just going down that road, that a lot of young people do, and it's very scary, for him and also for everybody else, I think. Anyway, so that's just one thing I wanted to mention. So there you go, Yamal's dad's been stabbed. Now I want to just show you some more videos that have come out from Sophie Wang, that we talked about yesterday, the little girl who's been, well, more than stabbed, murdered by her mother. She had her throat slit. It's very, very, horrible, traumatic, and just, of course, is worse because it was her own mother. Now there's some more videos that have come out from, remember, she put some very strange videos on TikTok, and of course they're coming out now more and more. She obviously had a problem, this woman. Now somebody told me on one of the comments that they were divorced, her and her husband. So I don't know actually if that's true. I haven't been able to find that out yet, confirm it. But maybe that was maybe it was like a revenge killing. I don't know. But if you listen to this, you'll think she has definitely got mental health issues.
Softly spoken and calm.
I want to let everyone know that the situation you see is fake. Fake God. The Antichrist is a fake God.
An insight into the mind of an accused killer.
I have felt the devil Satan saying to me how he has been influencing me, disturbing my soul, eventually possessing me 100%, possessing my soul to do evil things.
Speaking Mandarin, 46-year-old Ying Zhu posted this video on TikTok before she allegedly murdered her daughter, 10-year-old Sophie Wang.
This is just absolutely sickening, gut-wrenching, awful. I just can't imagine how that father felt, and just.
Now, if she was putting these videos on TikTok, had nobody seen them? I mean, I follow some of my relatives on TikTok, etc. If I saw a video like that, if one of my relatives came on and was saying things like that, wouldn't you do something or reach out to them or reach out to someone? Seems strange to me. Let's just watch those videos again. Because, I mean, that's pretty terrifying, isn't it, what she's saying? She's saying the devil is telling her to do evil things. And she's saying it publicly on TikTok, of all places. So, why did nobody pick up on that?
Softly spoken and calm.
I want to let everyone know that the situation you see is fake. Fake God. The Antichrist is a fake God.
An insight into the mind of an accused killer.
I have felt the devil Satan saying to me how he has been influencing me, disturbing my soul, eventually possessing me 100%, possessing my soul to do evil things.
Speaking Mandarin, 46-year-old Ying Zhu posted this video on TikTok before she allegedly murdered her daughter, 10-year-old Sophie Wang.
This is just absolutely sickening, gut-wrenching, awful. I just can't imagine how that father felt, and just hearing the reports of him screaming, nobody would ever wish that on anyone.
Zhu remains behind bars, the family home a crime scene, and the quiet streets of Emerald Lakes a place to grieve.
I guess it's just something that brings our family together and express our solidarity.
Leaving flowers, school friends, strangers, her tennis coach.
Really devastating. She was a very good kid, very, very down-to-earth kid.
A high-achieving Year 5 student who was bright, caring and kind.
I've got kids of my own and grandkids, and it's just absolutely beyond anybody's comprehension.
Detectives are speaking with neighbours who say the family was quiet and friendly. Sophie used to play happily with kids on this very street that's now a makeshift memorial.
It's all, just think what is going to happen here, because, quite often when people get murdered, especially children, when we always say, oh, justice for, it would be justice for Sophie. But what is justice going to be here? I mean, this is her mother, and she's obviously mentally deranged. What's going to happen to her? Will she be found guilty of murder? Because she's obviously, not of sound mind. I mean, so I just don't know what's going to happen to this woman. You just can't imagine. Is she going to be put away in prison for the rest of her life? Or is she going to be released? Because is she going to be put in a mental institution and then released when they decide she's better or whatever? It's horrible. And whatever, of course, it doesn't bring Sophie back. But I was thinking about this morning, when we were in the members live on Tuesday, and we were talking about mental health issues connecting with stabbings, etc. And, we were talking about how Mrs. Thatcher sort of brought in this care in the community, so a lot of sanatoriums, because years ago, people literally anyone who was acting a bit weird, you'd be just stuck in a sanatorium. People's kids were put in sanatoriums, and then Mrs. Thatcher, she decided to close these sanatoriums down, and it was all costing too much money, and that care in the community was better. Well, maybe it's not. I mean, why can't we strike a happy medium? Maybe there are too many people walking around with severe mental health issues that maybe should be under secure, in a secure place. Now, I'm not saying they should be locked away against the will or tied to the bed or anything like that. What I'm saying is, are there not enough secure units? Because it seemed like the guy that stabbed the poor girl in Leicester Square, he was homeless and had mental health issues. The other guy that we were talking about on Wednesday night that killed the 3 people, he had severe mental health issues. Is there nowhere for these people to go? Because sometimes if treatment's not working, and they knew with him, the families of the 3 people that were killed, the young man and woman and the caretaker, they're fuming, and they're so angry with the mental health services, because he was known to be aggressive. He was known he wasn't taking his tablets. It was all known, and they feel that these deaths should have been avoided. So is it time, to look again at maybe having more secure units? Some people need to be in a secure unit, because they're a danger not only to themselves, but to other people. They're just an accident waiting to happen, a bomb waiting to go off. And, the thing is, it could be anyone. And you can't, well, apart from just never leaving your house, you can't, if you're just not even safe going on holiday to London and going shopping in a busy area, when are you safe?
On the Gold Coast, Amanda Abate, 7 News.
Well, let's bring in Sam Payne now. Sam, there are plans for a vigil there tomorrow.
Max, so the wider community can come together, support each other and pay their respects to the much-loved schoolgirl. Everyone is invited to gather at the main fountain here at Emerald Lakes from 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, but are asked to not bring flowers or toys. Candles will be provided instead. Sophie's school, Emmanuel College, will also hold a prayer service in the morning. The 10-year-old is being honoured here tonight as well at the markets, with locals pausing for a minute's silence. Max?
Sam Payne on the Gold Coast.
So, just wanted to give you that little update on Sophie. So, now what we're going to look at is this terrible event in Leicester Square. And now it turns out it's an Australian tourist. Just seems to be worse somehow. I don't know this, but it's bad. There's like, it just gets worse and worse, because you go on holiday this girl, you know, she's got quite severe injuries. I mean, they're not life-threatening injuries, thank God, but she's had to have plastic surgery. So how long is she going to need to recover? Where's her mum going to stay? You know, who's paying the hotel bills? Are they covered even for the medical bills? You know, I don't know how that works. I think there's an agreement probably between Australia and the UK. I don't know. You know, there's so many complex things. That it makes it more complicated because it's someone from another country. Hi, Debbie. Sorry, Deborah. Okay. Now then, let's have a look. So we're going to have a look. So the actual guy who committed the crime, his mum is... Hi, Mr. 420. Yes, she's okay, but she's had to have a lot of plastic surgery, apparently. So let's just have a look. So this is the guy. This is the guy who did it, or allegedly did it. Ioan, or however you pronounce it, Pintaru. Now, he's Romanian, but he's lived in the UK for 6 years. So the mum of the Romanian suspect in the Leicester Square attack says she suffers with the victim's mother. So this is his mum. This was him in court. This is a scene in Leicester Square in London. He just went up to this girl out of the blue, just picked her at random, put her in a headlock and started stabbing her. You know, there just doesn't seem to be any reason for it. Anyway, his mum has said that she shares the pain of the victim's family. So he's been charged with attempted murder over the seemingly random attack on the 11-year-old girl, an Australian tourist in central London on Monday. So she was put into a headlock and stabbed 8 times with a steak knife, and she required plastic surgery for her wounds. And, you know, this is what worries me, steak knife. You can't ban steak knives. You know, this guy was homeless, but he managed to get his hands on a knife, on a steak knife. You know, how are you going to stop people having access to steak knives? You can't, can you? So, you know, it's true that if somebody really wants to do some damage to someone for whatever reason, it's very difficult, isn't it, to stop it? Almost impossible, really. So somehow we've got to sort of try and stop people arriving at this point, why they would even think that they, you know, that they would even think to do it. So his hometown is Puciosa, around 65 miles away from the capital of Romania, Bucharest. And his mother, Magda, said, I suffer with her mother and I can't describe the pain I'm in. I'm also a mother. I understand what she must be going through. Well, maybe not quite, but anyway. So she revealed more details of her son's life, telling the Mail that Pintaru had been a long-distance lorry driver for 10 years and he had no social life. He moved to the UK about 6 years ago and he has a 4-year-old daughter. So he has his own daughter. How could he do that to another child when he's got his own daughter? It's probably going to be something about bloody, what's the word, custody issues or something like that, isn't it? You know, some selfish twonk taking it out on someone that's got nothing to do with any whatever problems he's got in his life. But apparently he went back to Romania in 2022, but he returned to the UK for work, and he then suffered a car accident a few weeks later, which meant that he had to look for a new job. And Miss Gerler said she'd only heard from her son occasionally while he was away. So the stabbing took place at the TWG tea shop in the heart of the tourist hotspot in what police believe was not a terror-rated attack. As well as attempted murder, Pintaru has also been charged with possession of a bladed article. So, Prosecutor David Burns told the court the mother and her daughter were visiting the tourist hotspot on holiday when a man approached the girl, placed her into a headlock and then stabbed her 8 times to the body. A local security guard who witnesses say tackled the knife man to the ground told LBC, "I heard a scream. At that moment, I saw there was one person, roughly in their mid-30s or early 30s, and he was stabbing a kid. I jumped on him, held the hand." Now, this is a bit, they're not mentioning his name. You know, so this security guard who saved this girl's life was called Abdullah. So he's a Muslim. Now, if it was the Muslim that had stabbed the girl, it'd be all over, I'm sure, saying his name and, you know, his religion, etc. Why are they not mentioning his name? You know, they're not making a big deal of his name. They should do, because, you know, people, when this first happened, people were quick to say, oh, yeah, you know, probably was a Muslim or probably a terror attack. And then it turns out that actually it was Abdullah. In fact, I'm gonna find the interview again to show you. It was actually Abdullah that saved the girl. So why aren't they mentioning that? They're not even mentioning his name. That makes me really angry. There's a definite, it's like it doesn't follow the narrative that they want it to. See if I can find it. No, hang on. No, his interview should be there and his name should be there. Yeah, here he is.
The floor and just hold him, and I jumped on him, hold the hand in which he wasn't having a knife, and I just put him down on the floor and just hold him and take the knife away from him. And then a couple of more people joined as well, and we just hold him until the police came. It took like maybe 3 to 4 minutes. Police arrived, and then they just took him into the custody. And the child, just like all my colleagues, they gave him first aid, and in the meanwhile, police came as well, and they just gave him first aid. I jumped on him, hold the hand in which he wasn't having a knife, and I just put him down on the floor and just hold him and take the knife away from him. And then a couple of more people joined as well, and we just hold him until the police came. It took like maybe 3 to 4 minutes. Police arrived, and then they just took him into the custody. And the child, just like all my colleagues, they gave him first aid, and in the meanwhile, police came as well, and they just gave him first aid. I jumped on him, hold the hand in which he was.
So yeah, why is his name invisible?
Away from him, and then a couple of more people joined as well, and we just hold him.
Why is his name invisible in this article that we're reading in LBC? Yeah, bad. Anyway, this is the guy who actually did it. Yeah. So at first they thought the woman was injured as well, the mother, but it turned out that was blood from the little girl. So why did he do it? I mean, even if it's mental health issue, there's normally a reason. You know, had he just snapped, like I was saying the other day, maybe he wanted to go to prison because he was homeless. You know, maybe he'd better get better life in prison. He'd get fed and he'd, you know, get an Xbox to play on or whatever happens to people when they're in prison. You know, who knows? Or maybe it was like, maybe he was angry because he wasn't getting to see his daughter. We don't know that yet. I'm just saying there's many reasons, but there is normally a reason, even though it's not a reason we can understand, because we think, well, who would do that? But it's still a reason as far as he's concerned. He will have had his own reason, probably, unless he was just drunk or drugged up or I don't know, or maybe it was a psychotic episode, but goodness me. Anyway, he's going to appear at the Old Bailey on September the 10th. So we'll look out for that. Now I want to tell you a little bit about what the Australian news are making of it. Now, just want to say they don't mention the name either of the person that saved her. So this is 9.com Australia. An 11-year-old girl stabbed in a London tourism hotspot on Mondays from Australia. It goes through the story. The girl was hospitalised, required plastic surgery for wounds to her face, shoulder, wrist and neck area. So that's a lot of wounds, isn't it? And maybe the plastic surgery, you know, what has happened? Is it to do with her face then? Poor thing at 11 years old. So apparently the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade is in contact with the mother and daughter. So they're supposedly helping out, because what some people had said, like to me this morning, it's a very good point. You know, how far does your travel insurance go? You know, how long is that girl going to have to stay there having her treatment? When will she be allowed to go home? Where is the mother staying? Are they having to pay for the medical care? There's all those questions to ask. So the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade is providing consular assistance to 2 Australians injured in London, it was said. Let's have a look at the video.
Attack, but we now know the
The video's whirring. It's whirring, don't whir. Let me put it down again. It won't play. Right, I've got another video to play. We'll have to look at that instead. Hang on. God, that's so annoying. It's buffering and it won't play. Right, let me see if I can find another one. Oh, here you go. Oh, they are mentioning Abdullah here. So that's good. Oh, bless him. So Abdullah says he will never forget seeing the attack on the young Australian girl in a Leicester Square. See if can I go into that? So in short, a security guard who disarmed a knife-wielding man who had been stabbing a young Australian girl in London has been honoured for his bravery. Abdullah said he tackled the man after hearing screaming in the TWGT shop and kicked the knife from his hand. You know, he put himself in considerable danger there, because when someone's got a knife, you know, it's so easy that you could lose your life as well. That's what happened. You know, that happens quite a lot, doesn't it? Oh, it says she's been discharged from hospital. So are they going to bring her home then, I wonder? So it says here he's been honoured for his bravery. Honoured with what? Says he was recognised for his bravery as part of Independence Day celebrations at the Pakistan High Commission in London on Wednesday. He made a speech at the event and was treated as a guest of honour, and he told the ABC he was acting on instinct.
We now know that the 11-year-old Australian girl who was allegedly stabbed 8 times whilst being held in a headlock is an Australian citizen. That has been confirmed by the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. Now, this shock attack happened in broad daylight, Michael, in London's busy Leicester Square. She was with her 34-year-old mother at the time of the attack, and the ABC understands that the family, who is on holiday in London at the moment, moment is from New South Wales. The girl was taken to hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. She received plastic surgery but has since been released from hospital. It was initially thought also that her mother had been injured in the attack, but police have said that blood from her daughter's injuries was mistaken for her own. We've also heard more details today, Michael, about the security guard who was nearby and intervened. He rushed to their safety by tackling the attacker to the ground. I went and met with Abdallah today in his neighbourhood in northwestern London, and he described for me how he felt things unfolded on Monday. Let's take a listen.
I heard a scream. I saw outside there was a guy who was stabbing a girl. So as I saw them stabbing the girl, I started running towards the guy. I jumped on the guy, hold his hand.
So this young man, you know, he acted very quickly, didn't he? Because I honestly think that if you'd see that happening and it'd take you a while to register, wouldn't it? That what was happening, you would be like sort of looking and thinking, nah, you know, it can't be. You know, so he acted so quickly and bravely, because at the end of the day, that could easily have been, he could be dead now, because that guy, you know, he was just in a rabid rage, wasn't he? Now they choose children, of course, and women because they're softer targets. So maybe he wasn't expecting, you know, a young, strong lad to sort of jump over, but you know, to intervene. But still, so brave, really, to just rush in without thinking about it, because probably afterwards, when you thought about it, you think, oh my God, you know, that was a big risk.
And in which he was carrying a knife, I tackled him down on the floor and then kicked the knife away from him. At that time, there was only one thought: to save the kid, to save her mom, nothing else.
Oh,
geez, so brave. Catherine, this is such a busy tourist destination, of course. How are people feeling?
Yeah, look, Michael, we spent some time there in Leicester Square today where we spoke to locals and also tourists. It was absolutely heaving with people. It's important to remember that 2.5 million people visit that area of central London every single week, and we're right in the smack bang in the middle of summer. And we spoke to two 15-year-old girls who told me that they don't feel safe going out alone anymore. Let's take a listen.
It's a bit shocking. Imagine not feeling safe going out shopping. Now, I bet Abdullah, now he'll be in big demand as a security guard. If you needed a security guard, who are you going to call? Abdullah, please. You know, that's exactly what you think about security guards, is that, you know, they're not trained like the police are. So often security guards are ex-military, aren't they, maybe, or you know, that's sort of a job that quite often security guards go into. But I know here in Spain, the security guards that you have in the supermarkets, they have guns. They have guns, but I don't think they're specially trained or anything. You know, you sort of get used to it in the end. But that's one thing when I first came to Spain. First of all, seeing the police with guns is, at first, it's really sort of startling and scary when you see them. And then the security guards, so walking around your local supermarket, they're in big supermarkets, to be fair, not little supermarkets, like the hypermarkets. That's where you've got security guards, and they've all got guns, and it's quite intimidating at first, but you just get used to it in the end. I don't even notice it now, really. But we don't really have shooting incidents in Spain, so that's strange, because there are guns. There are guns, you know. Someone, I suppose, could take one off a security guard, but they don't seem to have that gun culture here.
Looking for it to be like right in central London, where there's lots of people as well, right? So it's just a bit sad that kids like under our age have to go through that as well.
I feel like people just are really worrying, because like usually you see stabbings and stuff happening in like dark places with lots of people, and usually when you're around other people, you're meant to feel like safer because you know something's happened, like they can help you. So when something like that happens, where there's so many people around, it just feels like where can you go that is going to be safe?
Exactly. Exactly, because people will say to you, oh, don't walk home late at night on your own, don't do this, don't do that. Well, what are they going to say? Oh, don't go shopping on a busy street with loads of people around because you might get stabbed. And the lady that I was watching talking this morning about knife crime and everything, she was saying, you know, that like literally sometimes people are walking, that you'd be walking down the street and there's like a tent put up, you know, for forensics because someone's been stabbed right there on the street or whatever. And you know, in London and places like that. But I mean, it's not just London, is it? I mean, it happens everywhere. So what can you do? Should you be wearing stab-proof vests? You know, that's at least you can do that in the UK if it's cold enough. Here in Spain, you couldn't wear a stab-proof vest because it's too hot. But you know, I feel like buying one. Honest to God, if I was to go to the UK, I think, God, if I was in a crowded place, how can you not be safe in a crowded place? You know, if you can see, like, we should be safe even at 2 o'clock in the morning walking home on your own. You should be safe. You should be able to walk anywhere at any time, do whatever you like, you know, as long as you're not hurting anybody without being scared that anyone's going to attack you anywhere at any time. But if you can't even be safe walking down a busy street in the middle of the day shopping with loads of people all around you, just think, what is the answer?
Her alleged 32-year-old attacker, Anand Patari, appeared in court yesterday. He wasn't required to enter a plea and he was remanded in custody to reappear in court again next month. Police have said that they believe this is a random attack and they don't believe that it's terror-related.
Yeah, no, I don't think it is terror-related, but, you know, it doesn't really help, does it, to... you know, it doesn't help. Let's have a look at this one. Don't think we've seen this one. It's probably the same.
Hack in the UK identified as an Australian tourist.
This week, right over here.
Peter Dutton accused of creating division after calling for Gazan refugees to be shut out. Chilling vision emerges of a mother.
Especially in the context
of the Gaza conflict, Ursula.
We'll start from when they're
Sophie
talking
Wang
about
made
Sophie.
a big impression in her short life.
It's just horrible. Like, it's just a little girl. Like, you know, my God. Poor little girl.
Her father arrived home and made the discovery.
Well,
the
this is
10-year-old's
so
injury so
simple.
severe, nothing could be done.
In my 15-year career as a detective, it's one of the most confronting scenes I have seen.
Within hours, 46-year-old Ying Ying Chu was arrested and charged with murdering her daughter.
I couldn't believe it, and I couldn't sleep.
It's unfathomable, really. You just can't describe it.
Sophie was a student at Emmanuel College. She was smart and kind. She played violin and sang in the school choir.
In the hours before Sophie was discovered, her mother uploaded several videos to TikTok. A rough translation reveals strong religious beliefs and a spiritual journey.
The 3 videos are the first posted to Chu's account. They've been passed on to police, who won't elaborate on any alleged motive.
Just always laughing and playing and running up and down the street. And, yeah, you'd see her walk home with a little backpack and, yeah, to think that she's not around anymore, it's just heartbreaking.
The matter was mentioned in Southport Court, where a police prosecutor applied to suppress the mother's identity. The application was withdrawn after a challenge from lawyers representing media. First responders, including paramedics and police, are being offered counselling for a little girl who was loved and is now lost. Pippa Sheehan for 10 News First.
And if you or someone you know is a newly formed organisation that will...
Kennedy.
My brother and I lost our...
They're having coffee, and how could it possibly be, and how could it possibly have happened? But it did.
Lint Cafe siege survivor in future.
Whilst we don't...
To make
that's
footpaths
another
safe
one.
again, to make Melbourne safe.
Where to health checks, we get to the heart of a
Can't
surprise
find the thing
of
back.
damp on the walls. Then recover. Pretty good there too.
Sure, yeah.
Doesn't get better than
Deluge down the eastern part of Australia over the past couple of days. Just have a look at the amount of water
I can't
on the
find
deck,
a bit
and we've
about
seen a few
London,
dams
but
spill.
anyway, never mind. We've seen enough about it, I think. So, what's the answer? That's the thing. Oh God, my hair's gone up. What's the answer? You know, what's the answer to all these stabbings? You know, just why do people think they can go around stabbing people? And you know, there's so many incidences, and all over the world, and all different ages, and you know, it's just like it's a total crisis, isn't it? It's a total crisis, and it's scary for all of us. It's scary. So, you know, because I don't think, you know, you always think in Spain, where I live in a little village, probably things wouldn't happen. But I know there has been a murder here a couple of years. I mean, it was quite a few years ago now. So what I'm trying to say is things do happen. They can happen anywhere. So how can we avoid it? But I think a big part of it as well is we definitely have to somehow get a grip on mental health services. Probably all over the world they've been, you know, let go, because when through COVID, so a lot of people went a little bit loopy after COVID. I think I definitely went a little bit loopy. We all sort of did. None of us liked being cooped up. COVID had an effect on everybody's mental health, I think, and so probably dealing with the sort of the ricochet of that, if you like, as well. You know, people trying, you know, and then the economic things in the UK. There's the sort of you know, the austerity years, all those years of cutting back on public services, and now it's reaping. It's taking its toll now, you know, and it has been, and it's going to carry on doing so, and that will take some reversing. So I don't know, you know, even if it's possible, but let's hope so. Maria, we're all still loopy from COVID, aren't we? It's just, I was thinking about it today, you know, because just, you know, and I did it. I was lucky, you know. I'm, you know, my house is quite big, and I've got a roof terrace. You know, where I could imagine if you were just stuck in a little flat somewhere, and you couldn't get out, and no garden with kids to entertain, and Joe, it just must have been a nightmare. COVID will have had a big effect on people's mental health, people's relationships, everything. So there's all these different factors. So it's going to be a long road, isn't it, for things to get better. But okay, now I'm going. So remember, I'll be back tonight for members. I've got a big surprise for members tonight. If you're not a member, think about becoming a member. It's only one night to join the Thursday night members club. It's only $1.99 a month. And if you want to join the Tuesday and Thursday night members club, that's $4.99 a month. But tonight, I think I haven't decided what we're actually going to talk about yet. I think we should talk about something a little bit lighter. I was thinking about talking about, should we bring back the death penalty? And I thought, that's not very cheerful. It's just, you know, it's a subject that will get everybody going. So I may do that because I don't know if you know, but just recently there's been an execution in America. And, you know, whenever there's an execution, it's been quite high profile. And the discussions back up there, you know, about should the death penalty, is the death penalty even a deterrent? You know, the thing is, have things got better since they got rid of the death penalty? And what are the reasons maybe that people want the death penalty to be brought back? And is it even moral? You know, there's so many questions, isn't there, about, you know, it's the sort of thing that whenever there's a really terrible event like the Southport stabbings, people start talking about, you know, bringing back the death penalty, etc. And, you know, everybody's got their view. But so I just thought that would turkey teeth update. Let's do a turkey teeth. That's a bit more fun, actually, wouldn't it be? Turkey teeth update. Oh, because he's feeding all the stray cats now, Paul. It just makes me laugh. He does make me laugh. I do quite like watching his videos. So he's gone completely off searching for people. Now that's finished, gone. So he's not a mountaineer anymore. He's not a search expert anymore. He's not doing any of that. He'd be a yoga expert soon, like Peter Folding, you know, expert in everything. A jack of all trades, master of none, isn't it? But yeah, maybe we should look at him. We'll look at some funny things tonight. I'm not sunburnt. You know what? I do look a little bit rosy faced. I don't know why. I don't think I'm sunburnt. But having said that, I have been going to the pool. And you know, when you're in the pool and you're looking up at the sun, I might have caught a bit of sun. But it's just my rosy complexion. I'm a bit hot as well. So although it's a little bit cooler today, it's still quite hot, you know, so might be just that. Anyway, yeah, I do. I'm a little bit. I've got foundation on. Maybe I haven't put any foundation on. I can't remember, to be honest. But I normally do. It's like just automatic. Maybe, yeah, a little bit red face. A little bit red face. Maybe a little bit of sun while I've been going to the pool. Okay, so thank you all. So I'll see you tonight. See you members anyway later on tonight. I look forward to it. And take care. And remember to always look after you, because you are the most important person. And you know, I don't know what's going to happen with all these stabbings. It's just, you think, you know, what is the answer? But I'll see you tonight. And until I see you again, may your God go with you.